Hey, have you noticed that your posture is not quite what it used to be? Having mid-back pain, maybe your wife is constantly telling you to stand up straight. But when you look in that mirror, you think, oh my God, I look like an old man, or I look like an old woman with a hump back here. Today, we're going to teach you how to fix this today really quick, and all you need is a door frame or the corner of a wall. Hey, welcome to the Muscle Repair Shop. Today, we're going to talk about how to correct bad posture. And it's not what you think. For most people, when they try to correct their posture, of course, your chiropractors will talk about that a lot, and they're correct in what they say, is that bad posture leads to all kinds of bad things in your body, from joint damage to disc damage to nerve damage to blood circulation issues and so forth, even respiratory problems you may have as your body shrinks into bad posture. Now, there's many reasons for that. Some of it is weak muscles, especially in the abdominal muscles, and especially down into your chest and so forth. That can create problems because if the abdominal muscles are weak, there's not enough strength in your belly area to actually lift your rib cage up so that you can start to have better posture. But most importantly, how does that get started? Well, look at how you sit in a chair. You know, Mom always said, stop slouching when you stand up or when you sit in a chair. And if you notice yourself in a reclined position, whether that's a recliner or you put pillows behind your low back so that you can recline better on a sofa, or maybe even get in your car and put it in a reclined position, what you're doing, young or old, is that you're making bad posture worse every single day by choice. And you may ask yourself, who the heck would choose to have bad posture? But when I see people sitting in these reclined positions, they think that they're solving a back issue because their back hurts. And the reality is when you sit in a reclined position, you are tightening your hamstrings on the back of your thighs. You're also creating weaker abdominal muscles because you're not having to hold yourself up. And so when you stand up or try to bend over, now the back pain is really bad. And people think naturally that they have a back issue. But the reality is it's not a back issue. What it is are the hamstrings in your body. That's where the problem becomes really bad. Now, the surprising one for most people is the tightness in their calves. Because when your calves are tight, the bending of the ankle can't go through its full range. And so when you start to walk, you lead with your nose. These are some of the common causes of that happening. So most of the time when people go and try to get treatment for a better posture, they'll go to their chiropractor and their chiropractor will adjust them, do a wonderful job with that. But the minute you get up off the table and start to head home, your brain then is controlling your muscles, is thinking, this doesn't feel right. And the muscles on the front of your body pull the shoulders back around and you go back into the habit of standing the way you've always stood. So there's a habit issue there too, and there's a weakness of muscle. And then the last thing is the tightness of the muscles. When your shoulders are rounded, when your head is leaning forward, I know the pain shows up on the back side, but that's not the cause of your problem. What happens is that the muscles on the outside of your chest become tight, and when they do, it forces the shoulders to round in. And as they round in, notice how my head goes forward and so will yours. The more you're in this state, the muscles on the front of your neck starts to tighten. Now all of a sudden, to look up, to raise your head and look up becomes impossible without either getting dizzy or getting pain on the back side of your neck. Now you can rub all you want back there. You can put the heat on, the ice on, you can get injections back there. You can have people to beat the heck out of their back. I don't care what you do back there until you address here and address on the outside of the chest. It's not going to stop. And I don't care if you're 25 or you're 85, it doesn't matter. Now, if you're younger and you're 25 or 35 or 45, you have time to really change that posture through changing your habits, learning how to set up straight in a hard back chair, learning how to stand straighter, building more muscle mass, and so you can prevent the damage that it does over time. If you're 75 or you're 85, you may have already experienced damage like a bulging disc, a herniated disc, a pinched nerve, a damaged joint, and that can all come from things with bad posture, okay? So how do we change that? Well, there's a couple of things here. What most people think of when they think of that is they want to put a back brace on that pulls their shoulders back. That's only going to work as long as you have the brace on. So unless you want to wear the brace 24 hours a day, nothing's going to change there, because once you take it off, you're going to come right back to where you were. Other people think that they go to the gym and to do what's called a seated lat row, where they sit on this bench and they're pulling weight behind you so they can strengthen their back. The thought process there, if I strengthen my back, I can actually pull my shoulders back and hold them all day. Well, think about if I give you a dumbbell to hold, even if it's 3 pounds, how long could you hold it like this before your shoulder would get tired and the arm would just drop? Not very long. The same is true for the back. So try to hold yourself here and you not change other parts of your body. It's just not going to work. And if it did, there'd be a lot of people with better postures, because most practitioners, that's the one they like to use. So the thing is what we want to do with the stretch and release technique is literally stretch out the muscles over here. Now, I know for some of you, you think when I talk about go to a corner of a wall, you walk into the corner of a room, put your hands on both walls there, and you want to push forward, or you want to get in a doorway and put your hands on each side and push forward. You are never going to stretch out the muscles here, okay? And you're going to wind up with some pain on the back of the shoulder because you're overextending coming this way. So what I'm going to teach you today is how to actually use the doorway, put the hand behind your head, elbow on the door frame, and then you're going to turn your body. I'll have an inset here to show you how to do this. Turn your body away from the elbow there so that you can feel the release of tension. You're only going to hold it for 5 seconds. You're going to, as you turn and hold it for that 5 seconds, you're going to breathe out and allow the body to relax, okay? And then you're going to repeat it 10 times so that you can show the brain that I can do this movement without actually hurting myself, because the brain's going to be fearful of that in the beginning. If you can't get your hand up that high, get as high as you can with the elbow against the door frame and just begin and get it going, okay? The second one we're going to do, and you can do this, I feel like I'm stumbling over my words here, I apologize for that, but you get in the doorway, put your hand straight up against the doorway. If you can't get full extension, as high as you can get. But if I'm using, in this case, my right arm, I'm going to step through with my right leg, because what I want to do again is stretch right into here. And as I start to open this up, this is going to allow me to lift my arm this way, and even come back this way, because the muscle here controls the movement. In other words, when I lift my arm, you can put your hand there and feel it. As I lift my arm, this muscle gets a little tighter. When you lift your arm and you're getting pain shooting down your arm here, the reason for that is that as you're lifting, the muscles up here are fighting with the muscle here or the muscles on the backside, and so they're overworking, shooting pain down your arm. While there is pain here, cause is usually here or on the back side over here. So those are a couple of things that you can do that you can actually help solve that problem and get your body where you're standing back up straight again and hold that posture the way you want to do it. Now, some other suggestions here at the end is that you can do things like planks or things to strengthen your abdominal muscles. Like I said earlier, when this is strong here, it allows you to hold your rib cage up. And by holding your rib cage up, you can breathe easier from your lungs, because now they have the room to expand. Remember, there's muscles in between your ribs here. So if I can hold this up so this can extend, now I can take a deeper breath. You can use a tennis ball and a sock, throw it over your back and start to soften the muscles on the backside. And I've got videos for that in my channel, so you can check that out. The tennis ball massage is what I call it. Now, for a lot of you, you may say, well, I use a cue ball or I use a lacrosse ball. That's all about pressure. And the reason for the harder ball is that whoever taught you is thinking about how much pressure you're going to need. And the harder the ball, the more pressure you can apply. Again, like I said earlier, this is where things like deep tissue massage fall short, because too much pressure, your brain will contract the muscle to stop the pain. So I hope this helped. If it does, please make sure you subscribe down below, ring the bell so you get more notifications, and leave me comments and questions. I want to hear what you think and what you have to say about it. And if you try this, let me know how it's going. For now, see ya. I hope you enjoyed this last video. Be sure to click on the video here to my left and enjoy.